Jens flying his drone in his little courtyard.
Ian!
And Maxine is cowering in the corner. So we just had a dinner party or a bar. I won't hurt you. Look. Come. I'm in Johannesburg and I'm at Ian's work. It's called the Digital Factory or something, but they all call it Eden because this is the little courtyard outside the actual building. I don't particularly like the covering on the ground, which is just angular rocks, but it has a high wall all around the edge and the lights over. It's all out. A beautiful kind of serene little courtyard outside the main building, and the main building is really just a long rectangular box really, and the main windows are all on the lower floor, and you've got these sort of sliding doors, and then I'll just take you inside for a minute. If you go in here, it's got really interesting, like sort of Norwegian kind of decor, because this whole wall is dark grey, I guess. And then you have the skylights, series of skylights. And then you have this whole, remember I showed you the glass wall on the outside, so lots of the light comes from that courtyard or via the skylights. And then over there you have an amazing, like a meeting room. The thing I love about it is it's got a very low ceiling and it has amazing acoustics. It's very quiet in there. Sorry, you're in the thing. And the whole wall is like a chalkboard for ideas. And then upstairs there, they've got this sort of computer nerds, and they've got 3D printers and scanners and you name it, they've got everything up there. And then at the other end is an upstairs studio, and then down there is another little recording studio. And it's so lovely because there are lots of lovely, like there's a little kitchen breakout area here, all sort of woody and dark. And then you get this here, which I can't say I like very much, but a very bright floral carpet around a sort of couch discussion area. Fantastic. Okay, well, so we're here in Johannesburg in these technical studios, and very exciting. Ian's got an interest. He has a lovely little courtyard at his place, and he's developed an interest in thinking about ornamental plants. So
botany.
Yeah, in your dreams. And he's ordered some rare seeds from all over the place, and you've never seen the most childish reaction to getting a little tin with some rare seeds in it. There you are. So I guess you're probably wondering what kind of seeds, but this is not really a botanical chat, so we're not going to talk seeds. But the pathetic excitement of a 42-and-a-half-year-old man, 43?
44.
What? A 44-year-old man to receive a little cutesy tin with seeds in it. It's pathetic. It's an idea for a garden wall planting, and these are all succulent type plants. So watering is not it's not a major problem. You put that in the sun probably. Outdoor part of this amazing nursery we're at in Rosebank in Johannesburg, and I guess it's circumstances. It's on a slope, but what they've done is they've terraced it up the slope, and it's actually a beautiful garden in itself, So terraced, and it's Tuesday morning, so there's a lot of plant orders being sent out, or plants being watered and fixed. So it's gorgeous. And then on the other side you can see, I don't know if you can read there, it's got bunches, and that's a florist. It's got a lovely, just an amazingly, I keep using the word amazing, forgive, but I'm impressed by the ingenuity of South Africans. The places they make are just so clever and tasteful. Just come into a Pick n Pay supermarket in Johannesburg. It's my favorite supermarket in the whole world. It is absolutely beautiful. And you've got all the infrastructure hanging out on the top there, all the beams and everything. It is the most amazing supermarket with the most breathtaking variety of things. I obviously can't walk around and do it all, but it's just breathtakingly beautiful produce, massive variety. It's just incredible. And there's Ian going ahead there because we just come to get a few odds and ends. But just look at that, you know, just look at the wines. Absolutely incredible. And I love the sort of peaceful atmosphere in here. Have a look, you know, have a look here. Salads, you know. Yeah. It's like a buffet on the Queen Mary, and then wines. And then cold meats and snacks. Yeah. Parmesan, huge parmesan. A whole section on cheeses. A whole room for cheeses. Yeah. And whole cheeses as well. Yeah. So this is my absolute favorite. It's the best supermarket I've ever been into, and I'm not really a connoisseur of supermarkets, but just have a
champagne room.
So there's a champagne room. There's a champagne room under.
Well, it's sparkling wine and.
I see. See,
yeah.
Just huge variety.
South African wines. There's lots of wine outside as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Supposedly
kept at a certain temperature.
What is that? Groot Constantia.
Yeah, buddy. I think this is a small place. Just look at the size of it. It goes on all the way down there with those skylights. And now you know, this is the meat section there. So the meat section that I showed you, I'll just walk across just to show you the extent of the meat section. Okay, so there's the meat section, goes from there all the way up here. I suppose it's no bigger than most, but astonishing variety. So within my beloved supermarket, the Pick n Pay on William Nicol, is a pharmacy. Now, isn't that a sensible move? So they've got their pharmacy within the supermarket. Yeah. And then once again, you know, you would think this would be ugly. You'd think all of that piping and wiring and stuff would be ugly, but it's not. It adds to an atmosphere of kind of serenity. And we're in the sort of toiletry section here. It's just, sorry to rave, but I mean, look at this. Okay, and here is the till section of this Pick n Pay. There are tills that run the full length of this corridor. It goes up to number 18. And you notice they have lights above, so when the light is green, the till's available. Red, they're busy. And then behind you might be able to see a sort of rows of sweets and things. There's a whole queuing corridor that goes all the way along there with magazines and sweets and things like that. So you never queue into the supermarket. It's absolutely brilliant. And the other lovely thing is they have plastic supermarket trolleys which are as light as a feather. Really beautiful. Yeah. Here we go again. Look at this. Look at these thorn trees.
So I'll tell you a story about these thorn trees.
Yeah.
Keep going. In spring, 3 years ago, a PR company placed fake flowers on all of these trees on top. And down the road for a week was a whole variety of colors of plastic flowers on top of these trees. And I know the chap that had to take them off. His name's Reg.
He's lacerated.
And the guys who had to remove them had to end up in hospital because they were just absolutely torn to pieces.
Wow.
So it was never done again, but
wow,
bit of fun.
I don't even know what species it is, but it looks like
acacia of sorts.
Acacia giraffe. Wow. Obsession with thorn trees. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Kimberly. Today is the 25th of September 2018, and we're in Johannesburg in a suburb called Khyber Rock. And a very significant day. It's 5:25 in the afternoon. Beautiful, beautiful day in Johannesburg. And we're saying hello to the neighbour coming home. And we're here for a sort of tree planting ceremony, but it's not a tree, it's a seed. Ian's going to redo this whole back enclosed garden. What do you call it, Ian? It's called a...
It's like it's a gardenette.
Yeah. This whole area is going to be redone. No jasmine here, this is going to be changed, and it's going to be a little jewel in Kaiba rock. And the first Ian has chosen a special plant. He's actually had to, he's actually bought the seeds off the net for this very special plant, and it's going to be the pathfinder of every transformation in here. So let's just see what
I'm nodding.
Let's see what Ian has to say about that. Right. So I know that you haven't been a gardener in the past. Hadidas. It's a good omen.
Yeah.
I know that, generally speaking, you haven't done a lot of gardening in your time.
Never been interested.
What makes you change your interest in and become interested in gardening now?
Couple of things for me. Number one, mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very important part of it.
Yes.
I find it incredibly relaxing.
Yes.
It helps me to relax.
Yes.
It helps me to be
So
a lot more thoughtful.
So this is going to be a kind of a peace garden sort of thing.
It's a place to come and...
Mindfulness garden.
It is a mindfulness garden. And it's a place for me to come and relax and be here with friends. It represents good times as well as calm times.
Excellent. Okay, so we're here for a seed planting ceremony, I suppose. You know, imagine if they gave the Queen a seed to plant instead of a tree. So we're doing a special thing here. So are you ready to proceed?
Yep, I am. So
a single seed is the single seed going to do the job?
The seeds are in here.
Oh, let me focus on. Well, are you going to take one out now?
Yeah, I'll take one out.
So we're going to take the seeds arrived. The special seeds arrived in a small container. So let's see if I can actually see a seed.
There you go.
How many have you put down there?
3.
3 seeds.
Can you see them?
I can indeed.
There they
3
are.
little
Do
seeds.
you want to get closer?
I'm pretty close.
Alright, so there they are.
Yeah, which one are you going to choose?
I don't know, I was going to ask you to do the honours of choosing which one you'd like.
It's remarkable. If you choose a really sick looking seed, often it does well, and you choose a plump one and it doesn't do well. So
okay.
I don't really think I have any
Look, I
advice.
think that's the biggest of the 3. That's the second biggest of the 3, I think. So I think I'm going to go with this fellow.
Alright then.
Middle one.
Let's do it.
Alright, let me put these guys back.
And put your 2 spares back.
Travel all the way around the world.
Amazing. It's just a special.
It's called the Roger plant.
We can't pronounce the scientific name, so we're using the term Roger.
Bloody mozzies.
No, that's little flowers anyway. Okay, so here we go. So,
Coconut husks.
We've been to the garden shop. Coconut fiber husks. It's called coconut peat, isn't it?
Yeah.
And let me zoom in on it.
Tell me when.
You can put it in our photograph.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Pop. There it is.
Can you see it there, right? Sitting down at the bottom, about an inch below the surface. You see it there?
Yep.
Okay, hold it. And now comes this ceremony of covering it up.
Ready?
You ready to say a few words?
Yeah.
Okay, cover it up and say something. Go.
So as I cover the seed up, I'm excited to be able to let everybody know that this represents calmness and tranquility and happiness and a new way forward in a little house that I never thought I'd be back in, but here I am.
The 6th of September 2018, Johannesburg, and we're in the suburb of Montgomery Park, and this is Jane Ann's, well, it's Jane Ann's shed really, because it's not a garage anymore. And the idea is that Bruce and Jane Ann and Paul are going to share this as a studio workshop. So there'll be space for that pretty cupboard at the end's going, and they're going to be shelves, and the 3 of them will be along this wall and along the back wall, so that they all have a bit of workspace. But the primary thing now is to secure the door And so Bruce and I, well mainly Bruce, are going to, we put a hasp on here, and we're going to now put that staple there onto the door. So watch the space for further work.
Like I was in Europe the other day. You can buy fuck all at the lights there.
Today's Thursday, 27th of September, Johannesburg, and we're on the M1 going into work. And I'm just filming a bit of traffic to give you an idea of the traffic. It's fairly light actually. This is a 3-lane both directions. So it's a fairly substantial, and this is rush hour in Johannesburg. Just to give you an idea, look at the traffic feeding in on the side. You see it feeding in on the side there, which is it's backed up there quite a long way. And so these freeways in Johannesburg, without them, and there's a big ring road around the whole city, without these nothing would move actually.
No.
And you can see, I like these phone towers they have here. Have a look at the phone tower, it looks like a tree. Where is it?
Here it is, on the right.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. There it is here. That's actually a phone tower. Is that amazing? As opposed to the ugly things that we have, which are, you know, it's a phone tower. There's quite a smoke haze here, and it has been ever since I arrived. It's a smog haze, no doubt about that. It's no point in calling it anything else. It's a fairly modern bridge, but if you look over to the right as we go along, I'll show you, you'll see Sandton, which is one of the major emergent peri-urban centres, which you could argue it's aging now, because it was, when it was new, it was a very big deal, but now it's consolidated into a fairly, well, substantial
mini city,
urban thing. You know, it's no longer just easy access. Look,
there you go.
It's a city in itself, obviously. So that's Sandton in Johannesburg. And the other thing is, have a look. I'll just zoom in. Johannesburg is the biggest urban forest in Africa, and you'd be astonished at the wildlife here. In this smoggy, slightly dirty African city, there's this island of bird life and insects and reptiles which has astonished me. I'll just sign off with showing you an ultra-modern bridge with a very modern support system, as you would see. Still riding along on the M1, and it's a beautiful mosque here, all white, absolutely lovely. Unfortunately not a very good shot of it, you get the idea. Arabs love their screens, and that there is you can just see the tower there poking up. That's close to central Joburg. Oh, it's gone, but that used to be called the Herzog Tower.
That's right.
And because the South African nationalist government had such an influence on the media, they call it the slanting tower of Herzog. They were slanting the news. And that's the Killarney Mall over there. Quite a few malls in Johannesburg, aren't there? Lots of big shopping centres. Then you get into areas like this, in like central Johannesburg, with these amazing avenues of trees.
Old trees.
Old trees, yeah. So the trees, some interesting highways, trees along the highways, and you get really leafy. And you know, if you compare Johannesburg with Cape Town, you go, oh, Cape Town's so lovely and leafy. Johannesburg is far more leafy than Cape Town. Starting to get a view of the well, very. There we go. Here's a good one here. The landscape in Johannesburg, the trees, but also the smoggy, hazy atmosphere here, which I think is a big problem actually. It's a long-term health problem. Those ones are back there. That's the Lego that Finn and Ian and Mike made in Johannesburg.
Tell us about it, please.
It's the Batmobile. It's the Batmobile. Beautiful. Wow. So that's Ian bought when I was looking after Finn, when Ian and Jane went to Finn's teacher meeting. And let me tell you, this is not a simple thing. Look at the wheels adjust. And the back wheels adjust, and they can twist around. Kimberly, it can go sideways, can it?
Mm-hmm. Make it go sideways.
This is amazing.
Yeah, you just turn these, Bubba. Look. Okay. There you go. Just turn those like that. There you go. Oh, hubcap. Lego doesn't transport very well, does it?
Yeah, it's not like a metal toy that you can be rough with, eh? Well, that's amazing. Well, thank you, Ian, for that experience. This is the Batmobile that Finn and Ian and I helped to make yesterday and the day before. Is it not a beautiful thing? Look at that. And it's got Batman, but Robin's gone. Let me see if I can focus on Batman. Sitting in the cabin, ready to go. It's Batman. Robin's not there. Robin's elsewhere. Magnificent. Isn't that lovely in there? There is Finn having Fruit Loops for breakfast and watching Hackers on his iPad. Kimberly.